all over my timeline. Beast Wars has been popping up.
Oh, mate, Beast Wars was the shit, man.
I had an Optimus Primal toy, and because they did like the series where they all went like metallic, completely negating the fact that they're fucking animals. I had the Rat Trap and the big scorpion guy from that set as well. I think my parents bought me so many fucking toys. The more I think about it, every time I get like nostalgia baited on social media, and I'm like, I had Mad Max, I had Transformers, I had this, I had that, and I think, gee, can't even afford avocado anymore. Do you know what I mean? My dad,
the privilege slowly erodes away.
My dad, well, they're the same age. So my mum and my dad had me when they were 36. I'm 36 this year.
Oh.
And I'm sat here in my fucking hoochie daddy shorts.
Yeah.
Like, talking about fucking toys.
Emphasis on the word daddy.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Welcome to Magic the Flavouring, the Magic the Gathering podcast, where we talk about all things magic, flavour design, and lore. I'm your host, Andy Mann.
Hello, this is Nathan Cancel.
We're back.
Yay.
After a little break.
A little hiatus.
We weren't in Amsterdam.
No.
Like last time. 2 years ago. 2 years ago we were in Amsterdam. Did you miss going to Amsterdam this year?
No, there's too much going on this year. This year's very busy.
Yeah, we're busy boys.
Yeah, lots going on.
We're busy, handsome boys.
Yeah, we are. Busy as bees in the summer, in the summertime.
And we haven't really spoken about much since Omens of Chaos and Strixhaven and all that kind of stuff. That seems like a million years ago.
It's because like 3 sets have happened since then.
Yeah, I do not. It's
and we've probably heard about and had spoilers of. If we think about everything news-wise we've heard of in the last like 2 months, it's about 12 sets worth. Mm-hmm. Probably not 12. That's amazing, but like 10.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's a lot.
I do wonder sometimes, like whether we like. I think content creation a lot with all the different Universes Beyond sets, because we don't now do every Universes Beyond set. We used to do every secret layer, if you remember, as well. And I've noticed this more and more where content creators who don't do this full time, or even the full time ones who just want to do like a gameplay video every once in a while, have started opting out of doing certain Universes Beyond sets. And I kind of feel I wonder if there'll ever be a cadence to which ones we do and which ones we don't do. Because we did Mutant Turtles, right?
Yeah, but that's because it kind of set in like a nostalgia, and it was like a nostalgia space, right? And I think the idea is if it tickles us, then we'll do it.
Yeah, we didn't do a Lord of the Rings back in the day.
No, and we've got the opportunity to potentially right that wrong with the superior sibling.
Do you see now? Interesting. Now, because as I've mentioned many times, I have a Hobbit tattoo. I've got the Smaug, the ink Smaug from the inside cover of the J.R.R. Tolkien picture. So you would stand to reason that I do prefer the Hobbit over to the Lord of the Rings. However, it is just one body of work.
Literally, or literally.
Literarily?
Literally, yeah, right, whatever.
That
word. The Hobbit's are like significantly easier to digest, so it's probably like fonder in people's hearts. Like the amount of people that have read The Hobbit compared to have actually read the full Lord of the Rings is there's quite a big gap.
Yeah, it must be.
Compared to like say the films, where the 3 films are like the Lord of the Rings films are like iconic, timeless, like untouchable, and then the Hobbits, whatever.
Yeah,
like an extension of that.
So here's my hot take about the Hobbit films, and I said this at the time of seeing the Hobbit films as someone who watched the Lord of the Rings films as they came out in the cinema. Like I was in that age bracket of just being old enough to see those films, right? I think if the Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films didn't exist, those Hobbit films would have been the fucking tits. People would have been like, how did they transport the book onto the screen in the way that they did?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because those Lord of the Rings films exist and they are so perfect, even now, people go, well, that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, it was the bloating, I think. It didn't need to be another trilogy. The things that they added in didn't have enough substance to kind of make it feel worth it. Well, the point being is that the Hobbit as a property feels kind of strange, right? Because it is like is it the lesser or the greater than the Lord of the Rings?
It's a children's book. It's one book.
And I feel like for this, it's just going to feel like an extension in the same way that the film and the films felt like just an unnecessary extension. This is just another extension of it. Because what you could have done is started with the Hobbit, right? Like, you know, if you know you're going to end up doing both, start with The Hobbit and then work into the other 3 and do it as like 4 sets. Well, not 4 sets, but, you know, do it as 2 different products, be the other way around. But now it's always going to feel, in my mind, it kind of feels like it might end up being the worst version, similar to the film situation, because that first set was fine, it was good. Like, Lord of the Rings did really well, like, people still buy it. Is there enough to get out of a full set? I mean, I think we've already had some bare spoilers, which make it feel like maybe they're really having to stretch this little book into a full story.
Yeah, maybe. We're not here to talk about The Hobbit.
No!
We're not even here to talk about Reality Fracture.
Nothing about 2026 is relevant to us today.
Not today, because we will... The whole me talking about will we do Universes Beyond sets here and there is because we will keep what's relevant to this year in the coming year as it turns up. But in Amsterdam, which we've established we were not at, they did a reveal panel, as they are wont to do at these things, and they only revealed 3 out of the 6 sets for next year, all the Universes Within stuff. And so we thought it'd be good just to kind of vibe back into the rhythm of doing our show to talk about 2027 a little bit.
Yeah, Magic 2027. Which seems weird to think, because I remember when Magic 2012 came out, as a set. And it's it's 15 years since then. Seeing the words Magic 2027 makes the number 2027 seem much bigger than it.
It really does.
It's really rushed ahead.
It's crazy. So one of the things they announced for next year, which we can touch on maybe after we talk about the sets, is the Magic Cons that are happening next year. One of which is being Japan, which I know you and I potentially have an eye to go to, potentially.
It would be the first time going to Tokyo. It'd be nice to join that journey,
See, it will be the second time for me. But the reason I bring it up in that way is because I think of my trip to Japan as being something that I did relatively recently. That was 9 years ago.
Ugh.
I was 27. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I was a child.
Yeah, you take another 9 years off and you're
I'm
still...
just like, oh.
Yeah. It's when you realise you're a whole adult. You're a whole adult past adult.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some toys. So they released. They mentioned 3 sets ready for next year, all of which seem pretty exciting. One of which is a brand new plane. 2 of which are return sets. Technically,
it's 3
returns.
Yeah.
Out of the 2 returns,
I guess arguably you could say it's 4 returns.
That's actually incredibly apt. Arguably, you could say it's 4 returns and 2 new.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, out of the 3 Universes Within sets, we've got about 6 new settings.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. It's Avishkar all over it. Not Avishkar, Ether Drift all over it.
Yeah. We have, in order of release, we'll talk about them in turn. We have, on February the 5th, we will receive Noctis. The Sunken Realm.
Yeah, I mean, Americans will say it's like Noctis.
Noctis.
But it would probably be Noctis to us English.
In one of those rare instances where we'll sound like fucking idiots. On June the 4th, we have Kamigawa Titan Breach, which will be Kamigawa
Titan
and Ikoria.
Yes.
I'm hyped.
Mate, yeah, we'll get to that. We can get wet first.
And then October the 1st, arguably the most hyped and the most welcome on the docket, at least from my perspective.
In terms of anticipation, this is huge.
It's going to be big. Now, how do we say this?
Zhalfir, right?
See, I watched that.
You don't want to soften it?
I'm going to say Zhalfir, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've always said Zhalfir. No one's ever corrected anyone ever again. And in that little release video, multiple different people who worked for Wizards of the Coast said different things.
Right.
So I'm happy saying Zhalfir, and then if I get told that I'm totally wrong and I'm being really imperialist about it, I'll change it to Zhalfir. That's fine. Sick. How cool is that?
Yeah, right. Well, let's not get too. Let's not jump the shark.
Oh, baby.
Let's rewind back to Noctis, right? Because this idea that we have a whole. So the way we justify it, right, is in terms of it's 2 returns with Ikoria and Kamigawa slamming together. Noctis is an entirely new plane. And then Zhalfir technically is a new plane because it's been, it was phased out, but it was always part of Dominaria, whereas now it's its own space, but its own place, occupying the old space of Mirrodin.
Yes.
So the fact it's got all of the 5 Mirrodin suns around it, but has its own individual placement outside of Dominaria completely.
Yes.
So it's still massively isolated, but it is obviously phased back in land, and I guess Omen Pass and things will probably still be able to connect to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about these in depth in each in their own time, but Zhalfir is, I've just dropped into it. Zhalfir, there you go, is kind of in a weird spot where it's implying a lot of things about the multiverse, such as celestial bodies don't necessarily have to be directly attached
nor
to the
do
plane.
spiritual realms.
Yeah.
Or actually, or reverse, or despite movement across space-time, whatever, and also being phased out, spiritual realms still exist.
Attached.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. There's the implications of that are quite interesting. But anyway, right, so Noctis.
Yeah.
A plane of entirely submerged. There's no amount, or at least we haven't seen anything thus far, and it seems to be stated as much that there isn't any land in this entire plane. It's all all underwater, whether it's super shallow or ridiculously deep. There is no land to this plane. And people have wanted a water world for fucking ever. But they've also wanted a water world. In my mind, they've wanted a water world similar to what we got with like Ixalan, of where they've wanted like a pirates and things like that. And swashbuckling, or even like steampunky kind of.
You and I haven't talked a lot about these sets because we've had other things going on in our life, and contrary to popular belief of people who listen to this show, contrary to popular belief of our own friends, we don't talk about magic constantly all the time.
No.
We do sometimes talk about, where should we go for lunch or whatever the fuck. You said to me the other day that you would have maybe thought this slot was better placed exploring a water world within another plane. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we very recently with the Omens, the Omen Path, the Strixhaven story, Omens of Chaos.
Yes, that's the one.
There we go. Got there, brain. We recently had a little insight into what was happening out on Chandalar with Talrand, and he had this like super. Like they talked in a similar fashion of like there were horrible things breaching the depths of the ocean, and it was causing massive territorial issues. And it's a similar kind of style here with Noctis, of where they've said there's two warring factions, two warring kingdoms that are battling against each other. And then underlying that, there is this idea that will everything get swallowed into the depths? And it's kind of interesting that everything we've heard of Chandalar's problem has just kind of been extrapolated, taken out and gone like, right, let's just make a full set out of it. So it feels like it could have been a third set of Ixalan, of where you had, I guess it would have been the fourth set, of where you had on the surface and then you had within the middle and then you have the depths. But I mean, that does that fuck up the Dyson sphere aspect of Ixalan a bit too much, probably. This feels very much 40,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yeah, I mean, it's 40,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Do you know what it's... So, the specifics, because we got 3 release videos, like each of them being about 3 minutes long, which had a mixture of concept art, or some key art that's probably going to be released for the set, and the designers and sort of consultants for the world-building design and some of the game design stuff, giving insights into like how the sets are going to look.
Yeah, their inspiration, right? A few tidbits about the races we're likely to see, that kind of thing.
They kept saying about Noctis that this is the first fully underworld plane, fully submerged, everything else. But there are humans on this plane. And the humans on the plane, which are going to be the minority, so they kind of flipped around. They're doing a bit of a law win, where the non-humanoid races are going to take centre stage, and the humans are going to be kind of like the sidelined one, as opposed to every other Magic plane where that's the reverse, right? The humans are all wearing like turn of the century style, kind of like aquapunk.
It's a little bit Atlantis.
A little bit Atlantis, a little bit Bioshock.
Yeah,
like
very much
heavy
Bioshock.
diving bells, heavy drills, heavy glass.
And we've seen like giant submersibles as well, like big, like giant subs.
So the question is then to just drive straight into some speculation about this plane, because all of the concept art shows all these like upside down cities, almost like cathedrals and mountains, but coming from like the surface down almost, all that kind of thing. There's a little part of me that wonders, is this going to be a plane that was once land and sea and then had an apocalypse event or some kind of like...
the sea took over.
And the sea is now just the only thing.
Because my question, when it was like, where do the humans come from, is there a chance to have like maybe an Omen Path breach, and maybe that's only a few exploring from another plane that are coming through? Maybe,
but the gear that they all seem to be using in the concept art, because I think we only saw concept art of the humanoid, of the human characters, all seems quite craggy and like old and used. So unless it's from what is the Mad Max plane that it was on Ether Drift that had
the Black Red clan?
Gus something.
No, I can't remember now off the top of my mind.
I opened a card the other day which had it on because I bought some French packs. I opened Gas Guzzler.
Nice. Yeah, no idea. Sorry. Because what happens when you have like 10 new tribes every set?
Well,
I'm not going to remember one of them.
There's part of me that feels like if it is an Omen Path aspect, that it's those guys have come into Noctis and been like, oh shit, we need breathing gear, and like more breathing gear with them.
Because I guess my mind's like stuck in the similar thing of where the Talrand situation was something happened in the depths and it's causing an issue. Maybe that's what's causing... Because also the implication of any Omen Path hitting Noctis is like pretty significant.
All
because,
the water rushing.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally just going to flood anywhere like considerably, and then cause a massive vortex within the world. So maybe there is an aspect of that. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to ignore because clearly we'll get to it in a moment. But like Omen Paths are still clearly a thing, and we actually know for sure that there has been interplanar, or at least 99% sure, because we've seen Sharkfolk, which look very close to the Mirror Haulers.
Sharkfolk. I was just looking this up on Scryfall. not including Universes Beyond, we've only had 18 sharks in Magic, and only a handful of those have been actual shark folk, mostly shark pirates of some description. So we had one Big Fig bouncer in Magic Foundations.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a normal shark, right? He's got like a
no,
face.
he's like a shark folk guy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like from Street Sharks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He is likely, I would say, he's probably quite likely to be from the same plane as Captain Howler, which he was part of the Keel Haulers in Ether Drift, so they could be all kind of related. You also then had Lone Shark in Thunder Junction. That again is like a big sort of like shark dude.
True, yeah. But specifically wearing normal clothes.
But he could have been Omen Path through. So we don't really know where a lot of these guys come from.
And I guess if the Keel Haulers are from Noctis, that means that there are like pirate ships, which means there is still like a surface colony.
Well, there has to be a surface, right? Otherwise, because otherwise the implication is that the water goes all the way up to the atmosphere.
Yeah, well, of course, there's a surface, but whether or not there's anything up there that's like the boat that
like land. Or
exactly. Because the only thing I could think of otherwise for the humans is they found like the most because we have seen areas where the shallows are only like 10 to 15 foot. And what they could have done is they could have walled off a great area of this, built it up, even dug down, and created essentially an artificial island. And then they could use that as their base instead. That's the only other thing I can think of.
There are going to be hominids, it looks like. Although they didn't say the word hominids.
No, there are crab folk, squid folk, shark folk, penguin folk, actual fish folk as well as merfolk. And I don't mean like, isn't like, merfolk or fish folk. No, it's like a puffer fish that's also a dude. Yeah. Seal folk.
That's going to be so cool.
Right?
People like otters, they're like, well, let's just do otters.
Yeah.
Seals.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to another otter at the very end of this this conversation.
And then the merfolk are they're almost like elves. They're almost like the real explicit.
Really ethereal.
Like they've got like fin horns and they've got arms and legs where the fins kind of cascade off of them.
Yep.
And it's, I was watching the Professor's video on like the upcoming year as well. I watched it a couple of days ago. Obviously he's a big merfolk guy. And his explanation of like, well, obviously they, much like the other sort of races in Magic, other than humans really, they can play around with these tropes, and this feels like they've gone, well, we want all the best bits from all the merfolk that we know, because this is going to be like our sort of, well, they're merfolk who literally rule the water world that we're like building. I don't know, I think it's going to be really cool. I like the idea of they have to avoid, and they mentioned this so much in the little video, they have to avoid just making it like the blue set.
Yeah, of course.
They have to have the other colours of mana involved, which makes sense. And also I kind of like the idea that we're going to sort of start veering away from the idea that blue means water and all that kind of stuff.
The way I look at it is like blue specifically is an island, which is land, right? Like it's what we need to start looking at is instead of just being like, this is a mountain represent red mana, it's that there are ley lines that will have different effects on the environment. And on the surface, it will make it a mountain compared to a swamp. But underwater, it will make it, I don't know, like a steam vent or whatever. You know, the way we've got to look at it is how the colours of mana affect the plane, rather than is there a territory that is made out of fire for red, or is there specifically an area that's got like fields for planes? It's like, no, there are other ways to kind of convert the colour philosophy into a fully fledged set, even if it is all underwater.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a banger. I think visually, all of the concept art and all the art that they've released looks like it's been really well realised. I mean, obviously, underwater media was huge in the late 80s, all the way through to the early 90s.
Yeah. It has been hugely underrepresented as well. Like, the Simic have done it a little bit. Again, we did Ixalan, but we didn't really do Under the Water. Innistrad even did a little bit of, like, the Lovecraftian horrors, but, like, we haven't really done a full submersible set.
Even when we've been to places like Dominaria and Chandalar that have, like, actual fleshed out sort of underwater worlds, those worlds have always played second fiddle to the land masses. And I guess to make it more relatable, I mean, the idea as well that they have like deep sea horrors, the Leviathans, which are going to be sort of like the antagonist beasts in the set, which there's cards on the video that kind of have whales for scale, which how fucking huge these things are. I mean, it's no wonder, it's no sort of coincidence that games like Subnautica are so popular.
Yeah.
Or Bioshock.
Yeah.
Or the Kevin Costner film Waterworld.
Yeah. Or even the Abyss itself, which obviously ended up being aliens, which is whatever. But...
Well, yeah. But you know, what is more alien than the ocean?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it. I mean, there's not really much more to say about it because
there are gods.
There are gods,
apparently. So
sea gods,
but they're more like the ones that will live with, like, be in the ocean alongside you, kind of gods, rather than being something more ethereal. But then who knows what these weird because there's no way they don't do like a demon kraken or whatever. You know, at the very depths, that's like probably sentient enough to lull you down with promises that it can't.
How are they going to do a dragon, do you think? Do you reckon they're going to do a big water
dragon fish? And they'll just call it dragonfish, and it'll be type dragon, type fish.
And it will be a dragon the size of a fish.
It's just gonna be bones. Because dragons can't survive underwater.
It's just an upside down dragon.
On the surface. Dragon Isle. Yeah, fantastic. I like it.
Oh, that's really
Wonderful.
funny. I'm excited. It'll be one of those sets, I think, that will either completely nail the landing or people will go, oh, that's what they're doing.
It is also, I think, going to be a palate cleanser because it is the first set after reality fracture concludes or whatever sets in motion the next era of Magic, and that's kind of how they're calling it. It's like the next era. It's the year of the Gathering. So whether or not that means that it's because it's so remote, it's going to be mostly unaffected, or if it is that the fracturing does end up causing rifts and incursions, as we'll see as we get to this next set, maybe that's caused a big rift in the ocean. Who knows?
Maybe it's the reality fractured version of Arabia, or Amonkhet, where it's all desert, and Jace fractured it into being all water.
Oh, it's like the inverse. And we actually find out that there's like pyramids at the bottom. And a dragon. Perfect.
That's the right way up.
Yeah. Finally, there we go.
Oh, God.
If only it was like 3 sets to the block, and then...
One last little thing. They're not going to have... It's going to be the first mainline Magic set not to have flying.
Yeah, they said about having like a different form of evasion. I think it might end up being like a big butts thing of where like you can't be blocked by creatures that have more toughness or something like that.
Sure. I mean, I don't know.
The bigger you sink or like the further you go down. Because it's going to be about depths rather than heights, right?
Yeah, are they not just going to do like dive or swim?
Oh, and it can only be blocked by creatures that have dive or swim.
Yeah.
So it's just a different flying.
Yeah.
Cool. Why can't they just do sea horsemanship?
Someone's been on Reddit.
No, I haven't! That was off the top of the bonds!
That's been mentioned.
Oh, really?
Sorry. Well, you're in good company with the rest of the internet.
Yeah, good. Wonderful.
Next up, we have Kamigawa Titan Bridge. So, if you really liked Pacific Rim, but weren't that fussed on Pacific Rim 2, Baby Pacific Rim.
And if you're a big fan of Kong, but didn't really like you didn't really care about Kong, but you didn't mind King of the Monsters or whatever, when it's starting into like Monarch and whatever. We
are doing Kaiju versus Titans versus robots versus humans versus spirits.
I have a sneaky... This set feels fishy, and do you know why it feels fishy?
That's Noctis you're thinking of.
Yeah, right, lol. No, it feels a little fishy because it seems so convenient that the arc of Kamigawa from what we saw, 2,000 years ago, all the way, and then it had the glam up.
Yeah.
And it set up all of these like Evangelions.
Yeah.
And then you had this Ikoria, it's kind of like mostly forgettable set. And it's kind of like super big guys. And they kind of released around the same kind of time. And they both had their own individual trajectories of going like, hey, let's tease some like Universes Beyond stuff, which back then they would have just ended up doing those sets alongside or whatever. There's no way that this hasn't been on the cards for like forever.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's felt like as soon as they went, Evangelion went, can we do Kaiju? And what we can do is we can do a whole Kaiju set, and somewhere like 2 years down the line, it's going to come crashing down through the fucking atmosphere, and it's going to be Gigamechs and Kaiju monsters.
It's very neat and tidy that the Godzilla cards, the Godzilla skins, were the skins for Ikoria, and just all that thematically tying. I don't know if they had it planned this way. All I will say is this. I am one of the very few, seemingly, Ikoria apologists. All the problems with Ikoria, if we leave the mechanics aside, even though they're tied to the theming, if we just look at the theming, they did way too much. They did Pokemon, they did kaiju battles, and they did human sort of like apocalypse versus beasts type thing. They did like Attack on Titan, Pokemon, kaiju, right? Yeah. They did it all in one go, and therefore
it was somehow the most Japanese set not set in Japan.
Yeah. And I think what happened there, if I'm being sort of completely conjecture based and sort of how I personally feel about it versus what I saw, it seems like everyone who made Ikoria really fucking loved the idea of the set. And they wanted to throw everything they had at it. They had the biomes, the fucking human outposts were really cool and were really well detailed and fleshed out. They pushed, we spoke about it at the time, they pushed thematics with like the politics of some of the human tribes like really far. They pushed the book, The Sun and Bond, which they brought back Django Wexler for. They did that CGI trailer with Joan Jett as I don't want to go down back to Reputation.
With Vivian Reed.
Oh, it was so cool. It was like genuinely really cool. And I think...
It was very hype.
What they should have done, and I think what happened, the problem was, is they went, we need to make we need to make this commander mechanic. All right, we'll call it companions. Like the humans are bonded with the thing. Yeah, but we can't just have it be like they're bonded with a giant monster because the giant monsters are killing the humans. Well, how about we give them little ones, and so it's like a David and Goliath thing. Do you know what I mean? That's how and we'll make it like Pokemon then. Oh yeah, we do the Pokemon thing. I think
and even mutate was very cool, but like the most convoluted bullshit mechanic thing.
And I think what happened is that they all got into a room. They took a little bit too much LSD, and they fucking made too big of a set.
It's that scene from Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah. They took some fucking Quaaludes and they just like went, what about fucking Pokemon? So I've been saying this for a long time, and I fucking said it. I sent you a message with the screenshot. I put it out on socials. I said this not too long ago, like a couple of months ago. I was putting money on the fact that Ikoria would make a good return set. Yeah. And they've done it in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool concept. Like, so this for me is like the true Omen Path payoff. Like, this isn't just like, oh, commerce, we're going to tax them, politics. As much as like, I'm also really into that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to know tax rates across multiverses. Like, like stupid shit like that. But this idea that and again, so let's relate this back to, this is the second set after the reality fracture conclusion, or whatever happens. And what I'm imagining is, if this has caused like an Omen Path itself to like the structure of it to fail, and then it's just split across the entire sky, no wonder a whole continent slipped in.
Yeah.
Now, they do say specifically in the panel, like, we'll find out why they're attacking. So it's not just that, oh, oops, here I am, let's just fight for funsies. There is, like, a specific reason why they're aggressive that we don't know about yet. But we also don't know, like, if there's any aspects of the Echoverse that would have affected Ikoria at all, because I don't think Jace really cares about that.
Probably didn't even know.
Yeah, there are so many parts of the multiverse that Jace doesn't have to care about, but there are other parts that he might have had a much greater influence on. So I guess we'll find out about that as whatever happens. But it's going to look really fucking cool.
It's going to look very cool.
Really cool fucking mechs. So giant ass monsters.
Each of the mechs for the concept art that we've seen, which obviously there will be multiples and multiples, but like the kind of they've taken each of the boroughs, if you like, of Kamigawa that we know of. So like, the Aganjo sort of what do you call it? Imperial Palace, you got the Sokozan sort of warlands, you have all those different places.
Odawara.
Yeah. And they've themed the mechs off of like as if each area has kind of made their own robots with their own pilots to go and fight the kaiju, and probably each other a little bit as well.
The Power Rangers.
And then all the concept art for the kaiju seems to look like that they are interacting with the kami, because they've got like spirit lights around them and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean the kami side of things has become very like not misused, but the fact that they're being almost like used as mech magic as well, right?
Well,
like,
so they're power sources.
It's kind of been stretched, right? It's like this idea of the spirit realm is not quite as ethereal as it used to be. It's now a little bit more commercial.
Is that not absolutely the way that you should go if you're going to do like a cyberpunk neo Japan?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have it in even like Warhammer 40k does like the spirit of the machine sort of idea. Yeah, so I like it. I mean, again, there's what more can you say? They've taken the things that people have wanted from Kamigawa since Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, which was only the last Kamigawa set. But they went, look, we like the fact you've done the mechs. Let's see if we can explore that space.
Yeah, how much further can you go with it?
And they've taken Ikoria, which I think this is sort of a sleeper favourite amongst the designers. They want to try and make it work.
I think the world works. The problem is, who is there on Ikoria that you care about dying? Basically, no one, right?
Well, I'll tell you why that happened. Because the main character of both the book and the set was Luca. Yeah. And again, I'm a bit of a Luca apologist. Like they
had a bad rap, not gonna lie.
He got a little bit of a bum rap, both narratively and from the community, I think. Because again, I think what they were trying, not to be like fucking Tarantino or fucking all Fight Club about it, but like, I think the masculinity on show was actually a little bit deeper than what we gave him credit for, guys. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they were trying something with him that maybe just didn't quite wash within the context of a fucking fantasy card game, right? Mm-hmm. And fair play. So, no, there is no one on...
But that's why it works, because you've taken the world and the setting and all the cool things of Ikoria and crashed them into a setting that you do care about the integrity of. Mm-hmm. If it was the other way around, I don't think you'd care quite as much, If there's Kamigawa kind of barreling through the sky of Ikoria, you'd be like, right, okay, this is cool, but it'd be way cooler the other way around. So they've done it. They've done the clever thing of they've taken the best of both worlds. Not to quote Merle Cyrus, but also it's nice to think that almost they had to like react, Kamigawa, right? They had these mechs and they went... Cool. Now we need to gigasize them and the mighty morph them. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Is there a implication with the fact that the Realmbreaker tree is the kind of, in a lot of the concept art, like you sort of see the branches still piercing through the sky of Kamigawa, and with all
is
the
that
Ikoria
the branches?
crystals.
Is it not just more Ikoria crystals?
Do you know what? I'd have to go back and look at it. I'm not going to do it now because it'll ruin my conjecture. But like, is there maybe
maybe the idea is that the world tree is still there, or round break or whatever.
But
it's
then,
still.
But then that's fine.
In between everything.
But then does that maybe hint at the idea that the conclusion of Reality Fracture is that nothing changes, that Jace completely fails at what he's trying to do?
I think if anything, he's probably further destabilized the multiverse. I think the thing that they say about Reality Fracture is that, okay, it's going to conclude the story arc, and it's like, I don't think it's going to be like a full world retcon. It's not going to be like, oh, and it all started anew. Because we've got evidence right now of one plane crashing into the other. So I think it's more that his Echoverse fails, and then that colossal shift then either leaves a power vacuum, which will then bring back someone like Bolas or whatever down the line, who cares? Or it's created ramifications across the multiverse where, yeah, everything is kind of able to overlap, but not in a way that is so amicable, you know, not as peaceful as the Omen Path kind of situation. And then it's probably going to end up coming back round all the way to Niv Mizzet, or it will be like that Valgavoth is able to then use this further destabilization to spread even further, and then it's Niv Mizzet with this like full mapping or whatever of the multi, and then we might get to a full solution. But I can't imagine that, because this is like a plaster over the problem, right? That Jace is doing. He's not fixing the issue. He's trying to create something else on top, which is only going to create more issues.
Returning Kamigawa character that you want to see at the head of a mech, because they're definitely going to do that.
I mean, she's probably going to be around being like, oh, and he's made like a Tamio mum mech.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, so she can never really die. Similar to like Peggy, Penny Parker in the Spider Bot, you know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he basically makes like a moonfolk mech to represent his mum, and then fights from within her.
I hope he dies. I really hate him. Greasefang.
Greasefang, yeah, of course.
Greasefang mech
time. Oh, okay, there's no space for my rat. There's more space for your rat. Yeah, yeah, very cool.
And then last, but by absolutely no means least, we are going to get Zhalfir. No sort of like tagline on this one.
No, doesn't need it.
Just Zhalfir.
Because we haven't. Yeah, okay. There was a set Mirage that happened. Nearly 25 years ago? Probably actually 25 years ago.
2004.
Mirage was not 2004, surely.
Oh, we're looking it up now.
Surely not. Did it? 1996.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where was I getting 2004 from then?
So 30...
Kamigawa was 2004 sort of era.
30 years ago.
Well...
Oh, my lord.
So it's about time to return to the, African plane.
That's what I mean. But
Let's have your representation now, guys.
Right? I mean, so there is an aspect of this that feels like it's almost like the exact kind of like relevance and spotlight and elevation and lift that Wakanda was able to give Afrofuturism in the Marvel universe, of having this this thing that everyone is kind of eyes on at the moment. It's a massive platform. It's a really good opportunity to have representation in a game space where there is a massive diversity of players.
Yeah,
it probably is about time. Yeah,
it's interesting, right? Because I was musing on this today because I watched the release video, and a lot of that release video was talking about the cultural consultants and about the game leads, talking about we want the hair represented the right way, we want the clothes represented the right way, and all this
spirituality.
Kind of stuff. And as I was thinking about all the different characters, both from Zhalfir or from other places in the multiverse where we have black characters or people from the black diaspora being represented, and it's fucking true. They're always like the outsider other coming in. I mean, even in the book we just fucking read with Kekuya, right? She's coming. I mean, is she from Zhalfir or? Because, yeah. So she's also coming out of this like thing that the fucking Zhalfir is coming back in.
She?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
No, because his daughter grew up on Dominaria.
Oh, Niambi. Yeah. So she's Dominaria.
So she's not.
But her culture's been lost to time, and now it's coming back in.
Yeah.
And these characters are always like the kind of not the sort of like the exception to the rule, but they are never necessarily the one which the world wraps around. Or we come from planes where the race and ethnicity of like the humanoid characters is sort of by the by, like And so doing this set now is very relevant, is incredibly important. And we have things like, even you mentioned like the kind of whole Black Panther Wakanda thing, but even in things like the second series of Castlevania, we see like Caribbean like religions kind of being explored in that idea, and like the gods and the spirituality in fucking American Gods, which was not the most widely watched TV show, but like the second series of American Gods. heavily explores like a lot of the kind of gods from like that part of the world as part of their kind of roster. And I was thinking as well, thinking about Kamigawa, the first Kamigawa set, because obviously they're back to back now, like in next year. When the original Kamigawa set came out in like the early 2000s, people loved the idea that we were doing a Japanese set and we were doing like a kind of all spirits and like, you know, fucking manga and anime and all that kind of stuff. But almost as soon as it dropped, as soon as people got slightly away from it and like people started fucking waking up in the 2010s, it was an immediate like, we really didn't do that justice. We didn't have like the cultural consultants. Like it's all a bit tropey. It doesn't really make sense and blah, 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 blah. And I think if we tried to do a dedicated Zalfir set or another plane based on like West African sort of, you know, culture and religion, at that time, we'd be thinking exactly the same thing now. And so it has been a long time, too long coming. I am happy as a player of this game, which I want it to succeed and I want people to be represented in the right way, that we are now in a position where Wizards of the Coast and fucking Hasbro are able to be like, let's bring in cultural consultants. Yeah. Let's do what we did for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty for this set. Yeah,
because they hit the nail on the head during the panel or during like the video, which was most of Magic as we see it has come from a Euro fantasy background. Even when we're trying to express other cultures, we're doing it from our understanding of that culture instead of it coming from people from that culture. So it does make a massive difference. Obviously, they did this with Kamigawa, and if anything, Kamigawa actually felt like it felt almost like wow, Japan can feel like this, and it actually felt like innovative. Even it's because we always think like we put almost the rose tinted glasses on, and we just think like, oh, lovely anime. We make what that culture is a lot smaller by our narrow lens, so it's better to have people from that culture come in and actually show you the depth and the width that culture can or you know bring to the game. And all of the artwork for it has been phenomenal. It has scale, it has beauty. There's a load of like almost like Jin kind of demon kind of like looking things, which really shows this a whole nother, because I guess they kind of explore this in Black Panther as well with the spirit realm with. But that's also based in like Bast, right? Whereas I think this is going to be based in its own separate culture.
I mean, it's something that I will have to do a bit more research on, just as a lover of mythology and like kind of world legend. And I say that with the greatest respect because these things are also religions that some people still practice. So I you know, take that as you will. But I will have to do more research on it because it's not my culture, it's not my background. The only thing I'm particularly aware of is Anansi, which is the spider god. But even saying that, I'm pretty sure that's an incredibly crude way of me even describing that. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want from this kind of media. That's why we play fantasy games. That's why we're playing Magic. And we're not just reading Lord of the Rings 500 times a year. Because this is the kind of thing it's meant to do. It's meant to show this fucking shit to the world, you know? As much as I want my Lorwyn sets and my Eldraine sets to actually be representative of the myths and legends of the British Isles.
You want the alternative as well?
Yeah, because if I didn't, I'd be fucking racist. and if you're listening to this and you're being like, oh, they gave black people a whole set, you're a fucking racist. So, you know, deal with that. Yeah.
Also, within Universe, it's going to be interesting to see how Zalfir has developed, because they were obviously stuck in a little time bubble. We only really got to see a glimpse of them in much of Machines. Yeah. Now we get to see them in a circumstance where they've got 5 suns, eternal daytime.
I mean, it is a new plane.
It's a whole new system. Like, they already had an existing life world and everything going on, and now we've got this whole new ecological thing that changes. Is it going to change how things grow? Absolutely. Is it going to change the different ways that they can use magic? Because now they've got a whole new mana system. What was the mana system before? Probably very limited. So how has it changed their culture?
It is, isn't it? Like, isn't that the idea of Zalfir, is that it wasn't necessarily the most mana heavy plane?
They were very rich in it. No, the reason why, as a very quick back in the day, the reason why they got phased out was because even though they had super advanced technology that would invite the Phyrexian invasion to attack them. This is the original Phyrexian invasion, by the way, back on Dominaria, like yonks ago. So he knew that just because they were advanced and they would be the first target or a major target, they would not be able to win.
He being Teferi.
Yes, Teferi, who has been confirmed to be in the set. We've seen artwork for him. So the idea was he phased them out because he just wanted to keep them safe. And I still feel the advancement of what we saw in March of the Machine showed that they still had technological advancement. We saw there's going to be a little bit of hex gear, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. For Mirrodin.
Hex
whatever.
Core. No, what is it? Hex
gold? I don't know. Hex plate.
Oh, we should know, shouldn't we?
6-sided hexagons.
Fucking Gorkor, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm interested to see how Zhalfir has developed with all of the influences being the right into having the right integrity, but also seeing how it works within this magic system.
There is also the idea that only about 10 years in universe time has passed for them, whereas obviously many, many decades have passed outside of that. So you're going to have characters kind of like exploring the new like multiverse. I'd be really interested in having the idea of like factions that are like maybe a bit more militant within the culture of Zhalfir, not liking what's going on in the rest of the multiverse, or being maybe a little bit standoffish. And
how much do they have access? Because obviously, Teferi's a planeswalker, can go back there, but otherwise they're still technically now isolated. It's not like they've just rejoined back to Dominaria. We haven't seen a sparkless Teferi.
Oh, interesting. I was under the impression he didn't have a spark.
And I think they've also planted Ren there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it happened on Zhalfir.
But isn't that... So that's it, though, isn't it? Like, he doesn't have his spark. The last we saw of Teferi is that he was talking to the Ren seedling about the fact that he doesn't have the spark.
Does he not have a spark anymore? Did he get desparked? Can't recall. We haven't had a desparked card of him, that's for sure.
Well, we'll get one. I am also going to be really interested to see what other planes they decide to have interact with Zhalfir, because they will obviously do some sort of overpathy plane.
Yeah, this is the only one that doesn't immediately show, but there's no way that this plane can't, because maybe it has all of the overpass that was still attached to Mirrodin, and there would have been obviously a lot, because that's where Worldbreaker started, so maybe there's like an essence of Worldbreaker still, or at least Worldbreaker's imprint on the multiverse, maybe that still exists. Maybe it's actually one of the most highly trafficked. I mean, we don't know. We still don't know if it's going to be that all overpass are now unable to be travelled and are breaking down, or if it's that there's some breaking down and the rest of them are still operating as normal.
I mean, it'd be there's the precedent is there with a lot of like the themes of sort of like caravans and traders and stuff, because Teferi's wife has a card where she's like a caravaner, right?
That's
so
Sabina,
like,
right?
Sabina, yeah. Mm-hmm. So having like them being like a bit of a multiversal hub because of all the open parts would be very cool. But you see a lot of like they've got all the big sort of like statue heads, and they've got all the monuments, like the culture and the spirit realm itself, which is like another little sub.
Feels very Kaldheimy.
Yeah, I mean,
like it looks very Nyx. Sorry, it looks very much like how Nyx looked, where it's like rivers flowing in the sky, and it's also at the eternal darkness, where Nyx is also didn't have light. So there's a mirror obviously between.
It's interesting that the idea that they've got a spirit realm attached to Zhalfir, because then the implication is that they had that when they were a continent on Dominaria. So it's not landlocked, it's culture locked.
I guess when we go back 30 years to Mirage, did we really get a chance to look into their culture as much as we'd like to?
Yeah, no.
Not at all, you know? So I think there's something to be said for that as well, where they didn't do world building like they do now back then. So they actually get to show a rich depth culture. They get to show an African version of Zhalfir instead of a European or Western style version of Zhalfir.
Of like, you know, the not white
so
plane
expect
on Dominaria.
So expect it not to look quite so fucking cliche. You know?
I mean, I'm all for it. I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited to see how the different colours like get interact as well. And I'm excited to see like, I don't know, man, the mechanics of sets like this can also start pushing the boundaries. I'm excited to sort of see what they try and do. I think, can you imagine the showcase art for some of these sets?
Yeah, it's going to be stunning. Oh my god. It's because the coloration in African artwork is so bold, so dynamic. It's gonna look incredible.
Yeah, it's not gonna look like anything we've.
And they'll probably do
before.
the two directions, similar to what they've done a lot of sets recently of where they go. So it's Afrofuturism, right? So they'll have one style which will be very traditional, and they'll have one style that will feel very futuristic.
Like Afrofuturism.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Cool. The thing I took away from all three of these sets being released is that. And I say this without a huge amount of cynicism. I'm trying, like, because I have enjoyed a lot of the sets that have come out recently. I fucking love Bloomburrow. I love the fact they did Lorwyn. Like, Edge of Eternities was so cool. There is just something about these three sets together, in isolation, looking at them, without the Universes Beyond, without all the ancillary sets around them, further we get away from all the cowboy hat sets.
Yeah.
It seems like Magic is taking itself a bit seriously again.
Yeah. It's no longer gimmicks, it's now themes. It's like they can go back to having the theme again. I mean, you could argue that the Kaiju Evangelion thing is technically a gimmick, but it's also been explored so much, and it has such a rich depth to it across nearly 50, maybe probably even more, like 60 years worth of these Godzilla franchise style kind of monster of the week.
It also feels like that's an evolution of that is what would happen in the world that you have created to these two planes.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's very organic.
I'm not as down on Murders of Karlov Manor as maybe a lot of people are. as time goes on, even Thunder Junction as a magic set, not necessarily as a setting itself, but as a functional set, is maybe getting its flowers, whereas at the time it was fucking outrageous because the fucking Overton windows moved. But like, those sets didn't feel natural to what those people would be doing. It wasn't natural that Marchesa would be hanging out with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
It wasn't natural that fucking...
It felt like a what if.
All the detectives started popping up.
Yeah, well, but even then, like, this is what if Kaldheim and Kamigawa, not Kaldheim, sorry, Ikoria and Kamigawa happen to collide, and goes, it would be awesome, that's what if.
But it's not just, you're right, but it's not what would it if they happened. It's like, within the conceit of the story that we're telling,
it makes sense.
It's believable that these two places would collide. This is what happens when these two planes collide. You know, like, that's just called narrative. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just, there's nothing wrong with doing a bit of a tropey set because we're all a bunch of fucking nerds playing a nerdy card game. What the problem is when you look at it and go, I know this game because I've been playing it for 30 years. This is not the game I've been playing for 30 years.
Yeah, let's put a pin in it, considering there's 3 universes beyond sets that are going to get slotted in amongst them as well.
At least there's only 3.
And I guess, that's the thing. So it's one less. The integrity of the year is like balanced. I mean, so let's very quickly, now we've talked about everything else apart from one thing. That was the Mystery Booster Command Edition.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I want to talk about this is because they only showed 2 cards. One of them super wholesome. It's Joven and Chandler. 2 ridiculously thrown back legends from Homelands. One of, like, categorically one of the worst sets ever made of the game. And this is even back when it was first released. It was considered one of the worst sets ever made.
Yeah, even at the time. Yeah. Crazy.
And it has Easter eggs in the artwork, and I can't remember how many cards they said are going to be new, but we are going to get a bunch of legends that are going to be, and this is our kind of way of doing like reprint set-esque kind of thing, of where we don't get Magic 2026 or whatever, we get a small spattering of cool throwback legends from across the multiverse, and then we also get a card...
Sorry. Yeah. Joan and Chandler is just me and you on a Magic card.
It's cute, isn't it?
It's like we've gone to a Ren fair.
We could cosplay. We could cosplay the shit out of that there very easily.
Sorry, I got you off.
And then the other one is another Otter that's going to get banned, so they just can't help themselves, apparently.
Oh, right, so yeah.
The Rule Breaker.
Tolabo.
And like, Otters are really cute. We're obviously going to get some Otter folk, I imagine, in Noctis, great, whatever. Bloomburrow, they were super cute. And now another broken fucking Otter.
Lock Rascal. This is from Eldraine, surely?
You'd assume so, yeah.
Legendary Otter, two blue. God, I'm reading out a Magic the Gathering card on our Magic the Gathering podcast. Fucking concept.
I know.
Legendary Creature Otter, Rule Breaker. I don't know how I feel about the fact they're just giving non-Universes Beyond, D&D cards these fucking keyword things.
I just also, why would you be so on the nose about it?
Oh, yeah. Rule Breaker. A deck with this commander can have instant and sorcery cards of 1 additional colour not in this commander's colour identity and any basic land. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue and red Otter creature token with prowess. I love the fact they've just decided Otters, or is it?
Yeah.
And it's 3/2. I read this wrong the first 3 times I read this card.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, they were doing a Prismatic Piper thing where you could have it in the command zone, and they were doing like a weird brawl thing.
Right, sure.
But no, it's just, he's your commander. He's a blue commander. And in the deck... with all your blue shit, you can have black instants and sorceries.
Obviously, you play either black, white, or green with this, yeah. You definitely don't play red with it.
I would have rated them so much higher if they went, you can have black, green, white, or blue instants and sorceries.
Yeah, right. And they just
be
go,
like, you're not making a fucking Is It also.
You're not doing it. Because that's the problem, right? It's like, there's no way that this...
It's just an Is It commander.
Yeah, there's no way that isn't this Lutri all over again, you know? Like, let's see what the other ones are like. Apparently there are 10 of them. And I think this is the kind of thing where I would love to draft this set if I can get hold of enough of it. That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, you and I better start learning how to read kanji because we're going to be fucking doing it in Japanese.
Yeah, right. That's all of the major universes within stuff from next year.
And yeah, they were, as I say, they're doing 2 Magic Cons outside of America, which I didn't used to think was that... I mean, back in the day, I say back in the day, it's not that long ago, but like, they did Magic Con Barcelona. They used to do Grand Prix across the world. When we did Grand Prix London, I'm pretty sure there was another
you have to
European
consider
one.
COVID happened, right?
Well, COVID happened. So this is the first time since COVID that they've done 2 Magicons outside of the US.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing Vegas and Detroit, which Americans seem to be going like really weird over the fact it's in Detroit.
Yeah, no one seemed to give a shit about Detroit.
It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure Detroit's still like a major
I don't even know where
city.
is Detroit. Is it east, west?
All I know is that they make muscle cars, and Jack White from the White Stripes is from there.
Where's Michigan?
It's Detroit and Pittsburgh. No, it's Michigan.
Yeah, where is that? That's a question. That's a question. And then you've got one in Tokyo, which we will be more than likely going to.
Yeah,
it's very far north. Oh, it's like Lake Michigan. It's right on the Canadian border.
They'll do Vegas, and then they're doing Amsterdam again. So Amsterdam's becoming
like a yearly thing,
European hub.
It makes sense. You've got so many people that play in that part of the world. If you're only ever going to do 3, you do want to do one in America, you want to do one in Europe, and you want to do one in Asia. Typically, I'd say
Amsterdam also makes a lot of sense as someone who, an English dude who does remember when they used to do events in London or whatever. It makes sense for it to be in Holland because it's either going to be Holland or Sweden because they speak English better than the English do, which means everyone from non-European countries can kind of go there and have a decent time because English is spoken around the world. And it's also European enough that Europeans won't be shitty about it.
Yeah. And it also means...
I say that just coming back from France, who are very shitty about everything that isn't France.
But you get an extra few days on the holiday, you can just bounce around to a few different countries, catch a couple of cities. It's quite nice.
So I think Amsterdam's a solid pick. And that exhibition hall, which they hold it in, it's a banger. I mean, Tokyo is going to be great.
Yeah,
I am a little bit worried. The artwork is not standardised anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun, yeah. Fuck, what does SpongeBob do again? I don't remember that.
I mean, what is that, a Chaos Warp? I don't know.
Yeah, true. I mean, I feel like that even when I can read the cards.
Yeah. I don't even know what my cards do when I read them in English in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's okay. You'll get there eventually.
Any more for any more?
No, that's alright, right?
I've got to admit that my relationship to Magic over the past year has been in flux.
Yeah.
I've not loved the impact of Universes Beyond, and I don't want to throw my toys out the pram. I've actually struggled. Like, this isn't something where I've been like, oh, I don't like Wolverine and SpongeBob, and then I sit down and I shut the fuck up because that would make me a hypocrite, right?
Sure.
There has been times when I've sat down with our playgroup and I've looked around the table, and for the first time over the past, maybe I'd say like 6 months after Universes Beyond has been going for a couple of years now, it's finally struck me where I've looked around and gone, I don't know what this is anymore. Yeah. And it's really interesting because here's the weird hinterland, the weird sort of purgatory that I find myself in. I think I'm actually more inspired building Magic decks now, today, than I have been in the past maybe year and a half, 2 years. I've been very sort of sat on my Magic decks. I'm like building again. I'm trying all these different commanders. I'm trying to look for like niche things, this, that, and the other. And I still love playing Magic. I'm really looking forward to potentially playing Magic in a couple of days, for example. I am just in a weird spot where I do look around and I think, oh my gosh. So having these bits of news come through where they seem to be taking Magic seriously, both with the theming and the investment in these like Magicons across the world, even though Chris Cox is fucking desperate to stick AI and everything. I don't know, man. It's just it's a weird time.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like the impact of the last few sets hasn't been, like, amazing. Like, Secrets of Strixhaven just kind of happened. Lorwyn's always been a fairly soft, like, background and a soft location to be at. These are 3 very bold planes.
I agree.
And I feel like they're going to have a little more gravity than the sets that we've had recently that have been stuck in amongst these really bright, vibrant Marvel Magic slop.
Yeah.
You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja, it's all cartoon stuff in your face. And yes, there's going to be that as well next year. There's no way around it.
No.
But even something like, say, you look at something like Star Trek coming out compared to The Hobbit. The Hobbit feels like what I like to call UB.5. Where it feels universes within enough for me to be like, I recognise this within our game mechanics and it doesn't feel strange. And then compared to like the baseball card versions of the fucking Star Trek.
Oh dear God!
Yeah, we're gonna have some things to say about that.
The Star Trek episode of this year is going to be a fucking doozy from me. I do apologise.
That's okay. But like, I feel like it's almost like the Universes Within hasn't been overshadowed because the Universes Beyond was better. It's because the Universes Beyond was so loud. The quiet of the Universes Within has let it slip into the background, which is why you kind of have that, and it starts to feel more and more like this game is getting away from us.
Yeah.
The fact that they've done this panel now, and that all three of the sets looking like they're going to have a significant amount of integrity to them, and we've still got Reality Fracture to come, which yes has a gimmick, but in terms of culmination of Magic's story, is is the biggest event since the Phyrexian invasion. Never
been so happy to see two Chandras in a set.
Right. So there's between the next 4 sets look like they're all going to give a little bit more integrity back to Universes Within, regardless of what the Universes Beyond are. And I genuinely have no idea. I know we're going to get at least one more Marvel set next year. Let's hope that the other 2 aren't quite so, I want to say, for lack of a better word, cartoony.
I think it was both a smart move and a move where they've shot themselves in the foot by doing this reveal of just the I went UI sets like Universes Within, but UW instead of UB. Forget what I just said there. I think they've done themselves a bit of a service and a disservice, because the service part is they've kind of gone, here's your Magics Within sets. We're not going to distract you with this other shit. Let's let people have their moment. People who like UB and Within sets get to have a time. People who don't like UB sets have a good time. The thing which I think they've probably done themselves a disservice to is people are so hyped and people are so like, oh my god, this is Magic, when all they've done is shown you 3 sets that don't have like other IPs in it. It's almost like they've gone, oh thank god they've finally done a Magic the Gathering thing. Like that when they finally go, and now
I see.
Zelda, and people just go, yeah, we want the good stuff. Take us back to the good stuff.
Although if they did, if they announced Zelda, I think that's probably that would be one of the hypest things.
Well, and they didn't Hasbro buy the rights to Zelda.
Yes, but I think it's there was a reason for it, and it wasn't
Monopoly.
Because, it was more like it was likely to cover other toys and things like that than it is to mean that they're going to do it. But if they could, there's no way they don't. The problem with that is you're going to end up with, it's yet another IP where it's going to be 14 versions of fucking Link.
Well, it'd be one from each game, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Plus the Minish Cap.
Yeah. And shocking enough, they all look the fucking same.
Well, no, tell me you don't play Zelda games without telling me you don't play Zelda.
Tell me that I'm picking up the 4th fucking random Kokoriki hat thing and they all just have different shades of green. Great, thanks.
Do you know that the D&D sets aren't included in Universes Beyond filters in Scryfall and EDH Reg?
That is interesting.
Which I'm grateful for, because I do play
It's a 0.5, man. I'm telling you now. There's 0.5s.
I agree with that.
And like Lord of the Rings felt like a 0.5, similar to how like Warhammer did. Oh, we've got Warhammer and we've got Warhammer 40k and we've got Warhammer Lord of the Rings. It's basically if we can make it, it's fine. So it's its own thing, but it's just the same thing. Same but different.
I miss Age of Sigmar. Okay.
That was fun. That's good. And that'll be everything we'll be talking about for the next 18 months.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hobbit, Reality Fracture, Star Trek.
Yeah.
And then in each episode, I'll say my obligatory, I can't wait for Noctis.
It comes out soon, like February, so we don't have to wait too long.
Alright.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Magic Flavor.
We'll see you soon.